Hey, how's it going? This is Manus coming at you from the dojo. Listen, what I'm going to do, and I tried to my best to put my thoughts together on this so it doesn't sound all gibberish, and hopefully it doesn't. But what I want to do is do a multi-part video on kettlebell training from from the onset. For somebody, starting at the beginning of kettlebell training, and then where does that where do we go? How do we progress with kettlebells? And this is just again, like any video, this is my interpretation. This is my perspective, having done bells for 13, 14 years now. They've been in my stable. I have, you know, worked with kettlebells solely for years. Other times they were just an augmentation of my conventional training. But either way, I've had them, I've owned them. Everything from 20 pounds all the way up to double 32s. And I've owned both, hard style bells, which I'll explain to you in a moment, and I've owned the Olympic or Giveroy or long cycle bells, if you will, which is more of the European descent. Both types of bells have their uniqueness, and let's just talk about that for a second. So if you're getting into kettlebells, or you've seen them at your gym, or you've picked them up at your gym, or you're looking to get one at home and you're just starting out, you're like, man, this is kind of cool. I want to go down this rabbit hole. There are two schools, if you will, or two types of bells to choose from. And it's all going to be based on what you want to do with your kettlebell training. Where do you want to go with it? So let's talk about that in this first little segment. The two types of kettlebells, again, come from really one massive school of thought, but many thoughts. Kettlebells come over from Europe, and that's where they, originated over there. Russia, all those Eastern Bloc countries, etc., and still heavily used today. But over in those countries, and to this day, the kettlebell is used as a sport, okay? And the bell itself is designed for one-handed use. It can the bell itself, the bottom, the bell looks just like really any other bell, but the handle is 33, usually 33, 28 or 33 millimeters. I believe it's 33 is the legit sizing of the handle. Those contrast to what most of us see here in America with the bells that are produced here today. The bells over in Europe, and now you can get them here. Again, they're designed for Giveroy, which is the sport of kettlebell, and for long cycle, which is still part of that whole sport genre. And the long cycle, just to give you just a quick blurb, that is where, whether it's with one or two bells together, it is max repetitions in a particular amount of time. Okay, that's what that's kind of referring to. Hence long cycle. It's not just lifting 10 reps, it's lifting a lot of reps and developing the muscle endurance to do that. So again, it's a sport here in America. And there's multiple people that have brought bells over and their training philosophies, etc. Not going to get into all that. But in America, we have the bell itself. The horn is much wider. Is made for dual-handed grip versus your Olympic or sport style where it's made for one hand only. Okay. I've owned Olympic style kettlebells from actually over in Russia. I had multiple sets over the last number of years. I don't have any now because I've kind of migrated to just strictly sticking with what we call the hard style bell, where you have a horn that allows you to pick it up dual-handedly and do your exercises. The Olympic style, the hard style, or long cycle, or not hard style, but the long cycle and the sport of kettlebell, that horn is much smaller and it just allows for one hand. So there's a little backdrop there to your kettlebells, and you can go and research that much more intimately with those that have spent time describing all that. I'm just giving a brief overview. The kettlebell itself is a really unique tool. It's a tool that can be used extensively as your only form of fitness, if you will, or it can augment other aspects or other modalities of fitness, i.e., conventional weight training. Whatever, however you view it. The kettlebell does have some limitations, though, just like most things do, and we'll explore some of those limitations down the road. But in this video, the start of this video is to talk about what I would call, and I'm just making this up, man, as I go, but tier 1. And tier 1, when I talk about tier 1 exercises, we're just going to be looking at those entry level kettlebell exercises that you can do dual-handedly, because that's where we start with the swing. Not with one hand, but dual-handed. And from there, we progress. And we'll get into those progressions here in the next video. So hang tight. Welcome aboard. I hope this journey is pretty cool. All right.